I'm about to show you the 90-day Shopify challenge I've used to take my clients from stuck to scaling fast. I've used this exact system to take clients from zero to consistent 10K per month, to turning what started just as an idea into a real scalable business, and even scaling all the way to £500,000 in revenue in under a year. This is the most effective system I've ever used for blowing up a Shopify store. And while it won't be easy, if you actually follow through on what we are about to cover, this could be one of the most impactful videos you will watch this year. So grab a notebook and let's get into it. We will divide our 90 days challenge into 3 phases. Phase 1, foundations. Phase 2, sprint mode, and Phase 3, analysis. And we will start now with Phase 1, which is the foundations. And this is going to cover week 0 to week 4. Week 0 is for commitment, and this is before you start actually with this challenge. The very first step isn't about your ads or your products, it's about your commitment. Most store owners don't fail because of bad products. They fail because they give up too soon. They start strong, and then life gets busy, motivation dips, or they convince themselves that they will get serious later. So this week is about making it real. Write down your 90-day goal. This could be hitting 10K a month, improving your conversion rate from 1% to 2%, for example, or reaching a specific revenue milestone. Take a baseline snapshot to know from where you started. So maybe your traffic, your conversion rate, the average order value, email revenue percentage, or top products. For example, one of my clients plateaued at a conversion rate of 3.7% for a very long time, and he wanted to improve it to 4.5%. In just a few months, we turned it into more than 6%, and that single shift completely changed his revenue. So write it down and even share it with your team, your community, or even just one friend, because once it's public, it's harder to back out. Now moving to the week 1. And it is about market research. Before you scale, you need to understand your market. This week, study at least 20 competitor stores in your space. Ask yourself, why do I trust this store? Or maybe why I don't trust it? How do they present their products? What makes their products different? What objections do they handle right on the page? And what stops me from actually hitting the add to cart button? One of my clients in the beauty space did this and realized that every top competitor led with proof, before and after photos, clinical results, or testimonials. But in her store, she didn't have any of these things. So we started adding proof sections, and her conversion rate instantly jumped. Save what you find in this week on a swipe file. Screenshots of product pages, bundles, landing pages, emails, or ads. We are not here to copy, but to sharpen your instincts. Now moving to week number 2, and this one is super important. It's about understanding your business and creating your brand Bible. If you don't know what makes your brand or your products unique, your customers won't either. This week is about creating your brand Bible. And by the way, it doesn't need to be fancy. It needs to answer the following questions. Who exactly are your potential customers? What problem or problems do you solve for them? What transformation do they get from your product? What do you want them to feel when they shop with you? And what makes you different from Amazon or the big box retailers or any of your other competitors? Your brand Bible should become the foundation for every email, every ad, and every product page update you do. Moving to the 3rd week, and it is about generating testable ideas. Now it's the time to turn everything you've learned into campaigns we can test. So you must come up with at least 6 to 8 ideas. Each one of them should teach you something new, so it should be testable. Second, it should have a breakthrough potential. So in simple terms, you should have seen it working somewhere else. Third, each of your ideas should be feasible. So basically, you should be able to launch it and handle it in under a week. Here are some examples. A starter bundle versus a single product landing page, or a quiz funnel that recommends the right product, or a buy more, save more threshold offer, or a landing page that leads with reviews and testimonials, or maybe a 72-hour seasonal collection launch. One of my clients launched a simple buy more, save more offer, and so their average order value jumped almost overnight. Sometimes the simplest experiments deliver the biggest wins. Week number 4, update your store and email marketing. Before you bring in new traffic, you need to patch the leaks in your funnel. So update your product description so they actually highlight what your customers care about, and add strong images, guarantees, and trust signals to your product pages. And make sure to align everything with your brand Bible so your customer sees the same message everywhere. A client of mine in the fragrance niche set up a basic email marketing system and was able to add 22k pounds in the first month through emails alone. That's money he was simply leaving on the table before. Before moving into phase 2, during this entire phase 1, I would need you to focus on collecting customers' testimonials or sending samples of your products to some people and ask them to test it out and record video reviews for you. This step is actually super important because we are going to use these reviews in our ads later on. Building trust is super important, and you can't do that unless you have a lot of reviews and testimonials on your store. That's why we should be working on building up these trust signals. And now we will move to the phase 2, which is the sprint mode, and it goes from week 5 to week 10. This is where things get intense and where growth starts compounding. For the next 5 weeks, you will run Facebook ads campaigns. And when I say Facebook, I need Facebook and Instagram. This is your launch point. Using everything you've done so far, your research, your brand Bible, your tastable ideas, you will create your first ads. Don't overcomplicate it at the start. Choose your strongest offer, pair it with your clearest creative angle, and simply launch. Later on, you can expand and work more on improving your ads, maybe working with more content creators or influencers. But for now, you have the reviews you've collected from phase 1, and you have yourself to create the content that you need for the ads. One of my clients launched their first ad campaign after doing this prep work. And in the very first week, their click-through rates were double what they have ever seen like before on Facebook. Why? Because now their message was rooted in real market insights, not guesswork. They were talking now to their potential customers with the right language, explaining the right things, highlighting the right feelings, and talking about the exact transformation that customers are looking to achieve. And that's why their ads performed way better than before. From week 6 to week 10, all what you are going to do is to test. You will start by one main campaign at the start. One campaign, and that's it. Then the following week, you will launch a testing campaign to try new angles and ideas. Keep your campaigns running and don't switch them on and off. Instead, keep adding new creatives and ad sets inside your existing campaigns so you can test continuously without losing momentum and without losing the campaign learning. And here is what I recommend you to test. First, test your offers. So starter bundles, subscriptions, free shipping thresholds, and so on. Second, test the creative angles. Problem solution versus lifestyle inspiration, for example. Third, test your landing pages. Try, for example, leading people to a product page versus leading people to a collection page, or even do changes within your product page. So try short form pages versus long form pages, or even change the language and the images on the page. Fourth, test the creatives for sure. So test, for example, UGC selfie styles versus polished product shots, or test simple static images versus carousels versus videos, and so on. Each ad that you are testing should have a clear learning goal, and after each launch, take 20 minutes to reflect and write down what worked, what didn't, and what you would change if you had more time, for example. I'm gonna give you some examples from my clients so you can know how much you can learn from this phase. One of my clients were selling supplements, and we tested two different angles. We tested the prevention versus solution. Prevention completely flopped. Solution performed really well. That test showed us exactly where to focus and how to communicate with our potential customers. For a makeup brand I was working with, we tested creatives. We tried to test true coverage on women with normal skin versus aspirational videos with models who had perfect skin. And even though the authentic videos showed the product better, the aspirational ones won. So believe me, in this phase, you can learn a lot about your potential customers and what resonates with them the most. And you might be surprised. By week 10, you should have a stack of data that tells you exactly what works for your store and your products. Now that you are done with the second phase, we move to the third phase, and it is analysis. and it's in week 10 to week 12. And this is the most powerful part, analyzing and consolidating your learnings. So go back to everything that you have done and ask yourself, which ads had the highest click-through rates? Which offers boosted average order value? Which landing pages actually converted? And so on. There are so many questions that you can ask yourself now, so many things that you can discover while analyzing your numbers. And from here, build your winning recipe, the exact combination of offer, creative, and funnel that consistently works. And then create new ads based on what you have learned. Launch them and start scaling the ones that perform the best. Your learning can even apply to your creatives themselves, so you can see which creatives perform best in terms of hook or of engagement or of call to action, and combine all of these into new creatives that you can scale. So that's the system. 90 days, 12 weeks, and just 3 phases. Most people will watch this and think, that sounds great, I will do it someday. But the ones who commit, they will finish these 90 days with a store that doesn't just look better, but finally makes consistent sales. Write down your goal, commit to the system, and let's blow up your Shopify store in the next 90 days. Thank you for watching this video. If you are interested about learning more how to run successful Facebook ads campaigns, I highly recommend you to check the step-by-step tutorial on my YouTube channel. See you there and happy learning.